Hey gang, John Bacarella here with your Lake St. Clair Fishing Report brought to you by Sportsman's Direct. It is Wednesday, September 25th. So we're well on our way to October and water temperatures are finally starting to drop out here on St. Clair. I mean, we were stuck at that 70-degree mark for almost 2 weeks. I mean, it was getting kind of like Groundhog Day. You know, I was looking at the temperature and it was just stuck there. But lo and behold, we dropped down to 67 degrees down at the Belle Isle temp. And I know there's some cooler temps out there than that. There's even much cooler temps if you head up to the where Lake Huron comes into the St. Clair River up there. I know Brian Martin, one of the divers up there, was reporting as low a temps earlier in the week. I think it's 54 degrees coming in. Now I don't know if that's current right now. Current St. Clair River current. Guess there's a joke there, but anyways, Brian was out there and he was diving and he was seeing walleyes, he was seeing smallies, he was seeing muskies, and it didn't sound like he was seeing any of the silverfish yet, but with those water temps, they're going to be coming in up there pretty darn quick. Now, coming downstream a little bit, down to the North Channel, there's been a couple events, I think the last couple of weeks down there for sturgeon, and man, have they gotten some just gorgeous, big, beautiful Tyrannosaurus Rex style sturgeon. I love those animals, they are so cool. They look like a blast from the prehistoric past, and they were catching a lot of them out there in the tournaments. If you've never tried sturgeon fishing, you should give it a shot. I mean, it's a hoot. And the guys that do it regularly, they get more than a couple of fish a night. So that's pretty impressive for some of those fish that are pushing pushing 6 feet. So that's awesome. Now coming down here to the lake. The smallmouth fishing, it's been tough. I mean, we got the Bassmasters in town this weekend. If you guys get a chance, swing by the Metro, it's Lake St. Clair Metro Park. I always want to call it Metro Beach because that's what we grew up calling it. But so Lake St. Clair Metro Park has got the Bassmasters in there this weekend. It's a small field, guys, so don't get freaked out. It's not like we're going to have 100 boats out there with those guys. I think it's a 50-boat field, it's going to be interesting to see what those guys can do because I know a lot of the local guys are struggling on the smallies. Now, some of the local guys are doing better than others, and they're catching some pretty nice fish out there, but they are still not getting huge numbers. So some good quality fish, but I think the fish are pretty scattered because of this transitional period that we're in. You got some deep fish, you got shallow fish, you got fish up in the river, so you don't have any like big, heavy concentrations of fish right now. And the wind is keeping that lake pretty turned up and turned over, so that's going to also tend to scatter these fish around and break schools up because it breaks those bait fish schools up as well. Now, the walleye guys, the walleye at night guys have been getting pretty good since we started dropping back again. Since when that temperature was stalled at that 70-degree mark, the fishing kind of died, and fishermen were actually reporting that the fish were coming in and they were following, and they'd literally like just kind of shut down and lay down close to right behind the bait and then just kind of fade away. And the water was clean enough that they could actually watch them with the headlamps on doing that. So that's kind of interesting. But lately the bite has been back on. Still not hot and heavy, but the guys are picking fish up again. And they're getting some pretty nice fish, just casting from shore at night. Swim baits, bombers, all your normal stuff. I'm sure you can throw some like rattle trap style baits, the booyahs or, the striking red eyes. But definitely swim baits have been producing some fish for the guys casting from shore at night. Now, as far as the panfish goes, and I know a lot of guys have been out there struggling trying to catch decent catches of perch. Now, one of our employees actually was fishing from shore this weekend and got a pretty nice bag right from shore. So what that tells me is some of you guys are overshooting this, maybe overthinking it a bit. You may want to come in, fish the shoreline, fish those weed beds, fish with some slip bobbers, get away from the boat. We got emerald shiners now, so no excuses about that. So, the goldies are gone, emeralds are in, so you ought to be able to, go out there and start poking away at these perch. Now, it's a little bit early still. I know normally it's October when it really gets going, but heck, we're almost to October now, so, you ought to be able to go out there when the weather is decent, and it looks like we got some good weather coming up for this weekend. Hopefully, if you trust a weatherman, which I never do, but it's supposed to be some decent weather coming up here for the next several days. Maybe one day a little shot of rain and then going into the weekend. Some cooler temps as well. I don't see anything up into that mid 80-degree range coming at us. We do have some cooler nights coming, which is just going to help to cool that lake down even more. Now, same thing for those panfish. for the gills and for the crappies. Actually, so these guys have caught a couple of crappies casting for walleye at night on bombers, which is crazy. So these fish are moving around, they're starting to feed, and pumpkin seeds are coming again too along the shoreline and up on the north end of the lake. I think up there around the raft bar and some of those weed beds up there, guys are starting to get some nice catches of gills and seeds, and in the canals and shoreline up there around Selfridge as well. So I would imagine down here it'd be the same thing back in Metro, although I don't think many guys have really been trying it lately, but that bite should be picking up and getting going more and more and more as that water temperature drops. Muskie fishing, the guys have been doing pretty good out there. The casters have been catching fish. We've had a lot of activity in the store. I know there's a lot of guys up here this time of the year. We're going to try to keep those bigger suckers in stock for you guys that are coming up that like to throw that live bait rig off of the side of the boat when you're casting. So we're going to try to keep those big suckers coming, but they are hard for us to get. Every year we go through this, but when I can get them, I bring them in here and hold them for you guys. So, you know, call ahead first on those big suckers, I guess, if you're going to come in for them. And if we got them, we got them. That's about all I've got for this fishing report this week. It's really been kind of a slow week with all the winds, and we're just going to have to see as the water temperatures drop off how things pick up out there. I'm sure they're going to pick up. I'm really curious to see what the weights are going to be for the Bassmaster, for the elite guys that are here in town, if they can pull off some 25+ pound bags or not, or if they're going to struggle down there in the 19s and 20s. But it's going to be interesting to see. So if you get a chance, swing by the Bassmasters, check out the weigh-in. It ought to be fun. They got food, and they probably got some beverage tents and stuff set up out there, so it should be a good time. See you around. Hey, if you like this video content and you want to get updated as soon as the next video is out there, hit that subscribe button and the little bell icon, and you'll get notified as soon as the next video is up.